Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Manu Law Classes Current Affair Analysis. In this particular video, we will discuss August 16, The Hindu Delhi edition newspaper. So our first major news which is coming in from the Independence Day. Here the Modi said that it will return with a report card in 2024. So here our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, he gave his independence speech from Red Fort area, and here he said that he will come up with a report card and he will guarantee that in the next term India will become the third largest economy. Apart from that, various scheme has already been launched, that is about the housing scheme for the urban poor. This scheme was announced from the Independence Day speech. And here Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that a new scheme will be launched to help the urban poor to build their houses in the cities. And under this program, they will also get relief in the interest rates and loans, and they can take from the banks to construct houses. And also there was Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge who skipped Prime Minister Narendra Modi address from the Red Fort. So these are the two important upcoming from the Independence Day address or Independence Day speech. Moving further toward our next important article, here as we already know that in Tamil Nadu, the state is demanding that NEET exam, which is a entrance exam for medical colleges, it should be exempted for the state of Tamil Nadu, and there they has already passed a bill and the bill is pending for the governor assent, and here the governor has passed this bill to the president for consideration. So now Stalin, or the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, he said on his Independence Day speech that the state list should have the subject of education. We already know in the amendment, from the state list, the education subject was transferred to the concurrent list. So concurrent list is something where both the state as well as the central government, both of them have the power to frame laws, and there is already a dominance of the central laws or central government laws. So here, as we know, these all lists are there in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. During the time of Indira Gandhi, this particular bill or this particular subject education was transferred from state list to the concurrent list, and now the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is demanding that it should again get back to the state list. So you have to tell me which amendment was there through which the education subject was transferred from state list to the concurrent list. Just comment it out in comment box that which amendment was this and in which year it was passed. So these are the two important articles from this particular headline section, and here we also have a news coming in about the rain, that rain fury claims more life in the Himachal and Uttarakhand. We have already seen that there has been a lot of flooding, there has been a lot of rain incidents in the northern part of the India. That is because there was a mergence of the western disturbance and the monsoonal wind, and because of that there is an instance of heavy rainfall which is leading to heavy flooding scenario, and because of the heavy flooding scenario there is a lot of prominence of these vector borne disease like the dengue, malaria in all the flood affected areas. So here in the Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, there has been massive landslip because of the heavy rain, because as we know during the landslides occurrence is more common when the soil is moist or when the soil percolate inside these areas, these mountainous areas, and they creep, these soil plates creeps, and that's why there is an instance of landslide. So these are more prominent when it is a rainy season. So there is a lot of rain and it is adding up to the burden of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand area. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in from the environment section, and here High Court bats for animal right to live without fear, orders relocation of 495 families near the Tamil Nadu Tiger Reserve. So here the right of animals to live free from fear and distress, it has been ordered by Madras High Court, and they had ordered the relocation of 495 families in this area, nearby areas, who are living near the Muddumalai Tiger Reserve, and they will also get 15 lakh compensation, and through that they can settle to some other area. So here Justice N. Satish Kumar, Dr. D. Bharataka Chakravarti, they ordered the total compensation amount to be 74.25 crore, which will be released from the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. So here you should know one term, what is compensatory afforestation. For example, if I am using a land, ये मेरा एक लैंड है जो आपका अच्छा खासा फॉरेस्टेड एरिया है, लेकिन मुझे यहाँ पे आपका कुछ डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट करना है, तो मैं इसका कुछ पार्ट क्लियर करूंगी, ये वाला फॉरेस्ट का इतना रीजन मैं आपका क्लियर करूंगी। अब थ्रू द कंपनसेटरी एफॉरेस्टेशन, जो एरिया मैंने क्लियर किया है, जितनी ट्रीज मैंने या जितने फॉरेस्ट को मैंने यहाँ से हटाया है, मुझे सेम अमाउंट ऑफ फॉरेस्ट या फिर तो कहीं और किसी और जगह पे लगाना पड़ेगा, या मैं इसका इकोनॉमिक वैल्यूएशन करके फंड दे दूं, दैट इज कॉल्ड द कैंपा फंड। और ये जो आपका कंपनसेटरी एफॉरेस्टेशन फंड मैनेजमेंट एंड प्लानिंग अथॉरिटी है, इसको ये फंड दिया जाता है जिसके थ्रू ये वेलफेयर ऑफ द एनिमल्स एंड द फॉरेस्ट, इसके ऊपर काम करते हैं। तो यहाँ पे जो आपका फंड रिलीज किया जाएगा इन फैमिली मेंबर्स के लिए, इन 495 फैमिलीज के लिए, दैट विल बी टेकन फ्रॉम दिस कंपनसेटरी एफॉरेस्टेशन फंड मैनेजमेंट एंड प्लानिंग अथॉरिटी टू द एनटीसीए, और उसके बाद एनटीसीए डायरेक्ट करेगा कि कैसे फंड ट्रांसफर करना है टू द प्रिंसिपल चीफ कंजर्वेटर ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट विद इन 2 months, एंड आफ्टर रिसीविंग द अमाउंट, जो पीसीसीएफ है, दैट इज द प्रिंसिपल चीफ कंजर्वेटर ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट, ये क्या करेंगे, ये सारे विलेजर्स को मनी ट्रांसफर करेंगे और उसके बेसिस पे आपका ये लोग रीलोकेट करेंगे। तो इससे क्या हुआ, जो लोग यहाँ पे रह रहे हैं उनको भी एक अच्छा खासा लिविंग मिल गया, उनको भी कंपनसेशन मिल गया, और साथ में जो जानवर यहाँ पे बिकॉज ऑफ द ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कंफ्लिक्ट, मैक्सिमम एनिमल्स आर किल्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस प्रॉब्लम, कि वो लोगों के एरिया में आ जाते हैं, फिर ऑब्वियसली कोई भी शेर आ जाएगा, कोई जानवर आ जाएगा तो लोग डर जाएंगे और उसको हर्ट करेंगे या मारेंगे। तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कंफ्लिक्ट को अवॉइड करने के लिए यहाँ पे ये स्टेप लिया गया है कि दीज फैमिलीज शुड बी रिलोकेटेड, और यहाँ पे बट दे आर नॉट दैट मच सेटिस्फाइड एंड दे आर सेइंग दैट देयर इज अ मिनिमम शेयर, और यहाँ पे उनको कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा, कितने फंड्स उन्हें मिलेंगे, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट सफिशिएंट फॉर दैम। So these are the contestation ground here to avoid the man-animal conflict. This step has been taken. Moving further toward our next important article, a very important article that is coming in from the history section. Here basically the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, he facilitated Azad Hind Fauj veteran named R. Madhavan. So R. Madhavan is now 98-year-old and he is a freedom fighter from Azad Hind Fauj, and he has been facilitated by the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. So now we will discuss in detail about what is Azad Hind Fauj, क्योंकि आपके static portion में ये बहुत important subject है modern history का। आजाद हिंद फौज, आजाद हिंद फौज, इसको हम दूसरे नाम से भी जानते हैं, दैट इज इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी, और वी से इट INA. INA was first established by मोहन सिंह. Just remember his name, क्योंकि कई लोगों को लगता है it was established by नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, but no, the first phase of INA or the INA was first established by मोहन सिंह in the year of 1942 and it was revived. जो फर्स्ट फेज था वो मोहन सिंह ने स्टार्ट किया था और उसको बाद में रिवाइव किया था नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस ने, ओके। और ये कब किया था, ऑन October 21, 1943, during the Second World War to secure India's complete independence from the British Raj. Hence, 21st October is also celebrated as the anniversary of formation of Azad Hind government, which is celebrated all across the country. And on this day, India's first independent provisional government, named the Azad Hind government, was announced. That's why we celebrate the anniversary on 21st October. Now we will talk about how the formation of INA took place. So there were many Indian revolutionaries who were working abroad for the country's cause, and among all them there was one prominent name, that was Rash Behari बोस. राश बिहारी बोस ये बहुत प्रोमिनेंट नाम थे जो फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल के लिए बाहर अब्रॉड में इंडिया के बाहर जाके revolutionary activities को conduct करवा रहे थे. So he was basically living as a fugitive from the Britain since 1915 in the Japan, and during the World War II he seized the opportunity to mobilize the Indians for an armed struggle against the British. There were a number of Indian soldiers who were fighting on the behalf of British, क्योंकि जो आपकी World War II में British Indian Army थी, वो British Indian Army में जितने भी recruitees थे, they were Indian of nature. Okay, so these Japanese basically they were defeating the British in the Southeast Asia, and they persuaded the Mohan Singh or the Captain Mohan Singh to work in collaboration with the Japanese for India's freedom. In 1942, a conference of India took place. There was a conference of India which took place in 1942 in Tokyo. Okay, 1942 में टोक्यो में conference of India हुआ था, and they formed a different thing that is called Indian Independence League. Just remember the name. Indian Independence League was formed, and this was followed by the Conference of Bangkok, okay, in June 1942. And here the Rash Behari Bose, this prominent name, came and he was elected as the president of the league, and the decision was taken to raise the INA or the Indian National Army with Captain Mohan Singh as the commander of this particular army. And here the 40,000 Indian soldiers were basically given to him, and they were nothing but the prisoners of war. So this conference also invited Bose to lead the movement. Earlier, Bose has escaped from India in 1941 to the Berlin, that is in Germany, and then in June 1943 he came to this area, he came to Tokyo, and then he joined INA in Singapore. So here he joined INA in Singapore in 1943, 21st October 1943. Rash Behari Bose then handed over this presidentship to the Subhash Chandra Bose, and here the Azad Hind Sarkar was formed. And later in November 1943, the Japanese announced their decision to hand over the administration of Andaman and Nicobar Island to the INA, and then this historic event of all these INA soldiers happened. And one more thing which you should remember, that INA trial was held in Red Fort, and it is a very famous trial. So just remember about these important points. Okay. Moving back to our topic from the newspaper, and here we have news coming in from the welfare section, which we have already discussed, that now the Prime Minister will inaugurate the scheme on Vishwakarma Jayanti, and here the scheme will benefit the individuals skilled in traditional craftsmanship, particularly those from the OBC section who are basically working from the families of weavers, goldsmith, blacksmith, laundry workers. These people will be empowered through this Vishwakarma Yojana. So just remember the name Vishwakarma Yojana, and it will be launched with an allocation of around 13,000 to 15,000 crore. So here only this much is important. This particular scheme is important, that is the Vishwakarma Yojana. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he announced this particular scheme to help the people who are engaged in the traditional craftsmanship and the city residents, which include weavers and the barbers also. Another important thing here is the Swanidhi, PM Swanidhi scheme, which was there for the street vendors. It was to help the street vendors, and it was launched after the post-COVID scenario to help the street vendors who are affected from the COVID. And here the government had already dispersed the 50,000 crore for this particular scheme. So just remember the name of these two schemes, Swanidhi and Vishwakarma Yojana. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in from the state of UP, and UP has positioned itself as a prime destination for investment. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, he hosted the flag in the Vidhan Bhavan on the occasion of the 77th Independence Day, and he invited the citizen to participate in a program which was called what? The Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. Okay, here you have to take a selfie and upload it on the website of the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. So here he also said that UP has positioned itself as a prime destination for investment due to the better law and order system. And UP is being considered as an infrastructure state, and people used to say the waterways project could not be executed here, but in collaboration with the Indian government, the country has achieved the waterway between the Varanasi and the Haldia. It is what? NH1 waterway. Okay? National waterway, not NH1, but National Waterway 1. Okay? So it is between Varanasi and Haldia. So these are the important points. You should remember that UP is emerging as the prime destination for investment, and it is considered as the infrastructure state. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in from the Rajasthan section. Here the Rajasthan Annapurna free food packet scheme will be launched to benefit 1.10 crore people. So here the scheme will help to realize government resolution that no one should sleep hungry in Rajasthan, and this particular scheme has been launched, that is named as Annapurna food packet scheme. It has been launched for public welfare, and here those people including the poor and destitute family, they will be covered, and they have already been covered in the COVID survey pandemic, and after this the scheme will be launched, and here the scheme will primarily meant for the families who are covered under the NFSA. Okay, so here free food packet will be supplied to these poor families, and they will also get an assistance of 5,500 rupees each during the pandemic, and in addition to the NFSA family. Okay, and 1.05 crore NFSA families or beneficiaries, they have already got themselves registered with this scheme, and soon the scheme will also be elongated and it will have much more wider coverage. So just remember the name and from which state it belongs. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in again from the state section, and here the bird species were counted. 275 bird species were counted during the survey of the Corbett Tiger Reserve. So here 275 birds, including the 2 critically endangered and 4 vulnerable species and 2 endangered species, were counted in the Corbett Tiger Reserve. This survey was conducted by a 62-member team which consisted of ornithologists. Ornithologists are those who are specialized in studying about the birds, conservationists, and the volunteer from the World Wide Fund India, Tiger Conservation Foundation, and Village Volunteer Protection Force. Okay, so here this survey was conducted, and here there are species like the white-rumped vultures, red-headed vultures. These were included in the critically endangered list of the IUCN. They have been found, and other than that, 2 endangered species, that is the Palash fish eagle, Egyptian vultures, they were also counted. So these are basically the important bird species. Now what is important for us? This organization, World Wide Fund. We will discuss in detail. Just write down few important points. regarding the Worldwide Fund. WWF or Worldwide Fund, it is an international NGO, that is the non-government organization, and it was founded in the year of 1961. Its headquarters is located in Gland, Switzerland, and its aim is to the conservation of the wilderness, preservation, and the reduction of human impact on environment. Okay, it is basically the world's largest conservation organization. ठीक है, ऑब्जेक्टिव की अगर बात करें तो इसका क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है, ये आपका वर्ल्ड की जितनी भी बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटीज है उसको कंजर्व करना चाहता है, बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटीज ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड इसको कंजर्व करना चाहता है। इसके अलावा जितने भी आपके रिन्यूएबल नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज हैं उसको सस्टेनेबल यूज करने के लिए और उसका सही तरीके से यूज करने के लिए ये प्रमोट करता है रिन्यूएबल नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज। And the third one is to reduce the pollution and the wasteful consumption. Okay. Now, one more important point which is there for the World Wildlife Fund, that is its reports and programs. कौन-कौन से reports ये publish करता है और क्या-क्या इसके programs है, that is important. So the first one is the Living Planet report. It is published by WWF every 2 years since 1998, and it is basically based on the Living Planet Index and ecological footprint calculation. The second program which is conducted by the Wildlife Fund is the Earth Hour. It is basically depth for nature swap financial transaction. It is also being conducted by depth for nature swap. It is being conducted by the WWF, and also it conducts marine stewardship council and healthy grown potato. Okay, so these are important initiatives taken by WWF. In the Earth Hour, we dedicate 1 hour for Earth. यहाँ पे हम सारे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को बंद कर देते हैं so that in order to save the electricity, कुछ टाइम के लिए 1 घंटे तक के लिए शायद ये बंद रहता है और इसको हम अर्थ आवर की तरह सेलिब्रेट करते हैं। Moving back to our newspaper, here now we have news coming in from the editorial section where we will discuss about a very important report, that is about the multidimensional poverty index. So जो नेशनल मल्टीडायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स है उसको नीति आयोग पब्लिश करता है। वहीं अगर हम बात करें ग्लोबल लेवल पे तो उसको कौन पब्लिश करता है, UNDP, दैट इज यूनाइटेड नेशन डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम, and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. Just remember these two important names. So अगर नीति आयोग की मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स की बात की जाए तो यहाँ पे इसने रिलीज किया है कि जो परसेंटेज ऑफ पुअर हैं they have gone down from 25% in 2015 to 16 to 15% in 2019 to 21, and around 135 million people were lifted out of the poverty during this period. Now talking about the global multidimensional poverty index which has been released by these two organizations, that is UNDP and OPHI. Here the instances or incidences of the multidimensional poverty index, it has declined from 27.5% in 2015 to 16 to 16.2% in 19 to 21. In this context, यहाँ पे जो author हैं, they are basically trying to relate the methodology of this two indexes, and they argue that the consumption-based poverty estimate are still very relevant. Multidimensional poverty estimate are not substitute of the National Sample Survey consumption-based poverty ratio, and in the end, there are various concerns related to it. क्या आया इनका कंपैरिजन का रिपोर्ट? तो अगर इन्होंने ग्लोबल मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स 2018 का रिपोर्ट को देखा, तो यहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला कि इंडिया ने मोमेंटस प्रोग्रेस किया है इन रिड्यूसिंग द मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी. Now the incidence of multidimensional poverty was almost halved between 2005 to 6 and 2015 to 16 and it was climbing down to 27.5%. तो 10 साल के अंदर में जो पुअर लोग थे उनको इंडिया ने निकाला है, अराउंड 271 मिलियन पीपल को निकाला पॉवर्टी से, और ये सच में बहुत अच्छा अचीवमेंट है. क्या ये कंक्लूजन है ग्लोबल मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स का? नहीं, क्योंकि 2015-16 का जो एस्टिमेट था वो यहाँ पे कंसर्न है. Estimate of poverty based on the consumer expenditure and using the Tendulkar Committee methodology show that number of poor came down by 137 million despite an increase in population. And according to the Rangarajan Committee methodology, there was a decline which is about 46 million per annum. तो यहाँ पे हमने मेथोडोलॉजी बदली और उसके बेसिस पे हमारा ये जो डिक्लाइन का रेशियो है ये आया. So now here in absolute terms the poverty ratio based on these two committee methodology, they are lower than the estimated by the global multidimensional poverty index. So the search for the non-income dimension of the poverty is possibly the way with which we can understand the concept and the measurement of poverty capability. उसके बाद आपका एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप टू रिव्यू फॉर द मेथोडोलॉजी फॉर मेजरिंग पॉवर्टी ये आया, और यहाँ पे रिजर्वेशन किया गया मल्टी डायमेंशनल या मल्टीपल इंडिकेटर्स का विच शुड बी यूज्ड फॉर द मल्टी डायमेंशनल इंडिकेटर. And here there was the concern regarding the measurability, aggregation across the indicator and the crucial of the databases. These were there. So now they need to be considered critically. यहाँ पे केयरफुली इन सारे इंडिकेटर्स को देखना था. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी की बात करें तो यहाँ पे ये जो चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी की प्रॉब्लम है, इट इज अ फॉर द ग्रुप पॉपुलेशन ग्रुप एंड नॉट फॉर द हाउस होल्ड. मतलब हाउस होल्ड को नहीं देख रहे हैं हम, यहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन ग्रुप को दिखाया जा रहा है. सेकेंड प्रॉब्लम वॉज विद रिगार्ड टू द एग्रीगेशन. एग्रीगेशन जो है इट शुड बी इंडिपेंडेंट and there should be access of the safe drinking water. It cannot be aggregated with the indicators such as child mortality. तो यहाँ पे एग्रीगेशन की भी प्रॉब्लम है क्योंकि हम एग्रीगेट नहीं कर रहे हैं सारे डेटा को. तो यहाँ पे ये सारे जो प्रॉब्लम है, मेजरमेंट की प्रॉब्लम है, इसके थ्रू हमें एग्जैक्ट डेटा पता नहीं चल रहा है. और यहाँ पे साथ में मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी या डेप्रिवेशन की बात करें तो ये भी आपका एक नॉन इनकम इंडिकेटर जैसे कि आपका एजुकेशन हो गया, हेल्थ हो गया, सैनिटेशन, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, चाइल्ड मोर्टेलिटी, ये भी आपका इनकम या कंजम्पशन पॉवर्टी के बेसिस पे हम मेजर करते हैं. लेकिन इन सब को जितना भी आपका डेटा है, बट व्हेन वी कन्वर्ट ऑल ऑफ देम इनटू इंडेक्स, इट पोजेस सेवरल प्रॉब्लम. Dayton and Driss, he indicated that it is important to supplement the expenditure-based poverty estimate with other indicators of the living standards relating to the instance of nutrition. तो यहाँ पे आपके डेटन और ड्रीस जो है इन्होंने बोला कंजम्पशन की जगह आप क्या कीजिए, एक्सपेंडिचर बेस्ड जो आपका पॉवर्टी एस्टिमेट है उसको यूज कीजिए. और यहाँ पे मल्टी डायमेंशनल इश्यूज जो है श्रीनिवासन ने बोला कि पब्लिक सर्विसेज को भी एक डायमेंशन के तौर पे यूज करना चाहिए बिसाइड द कंजम्पशन ऑफ द fundamentalist conceptualization of this poverty. So here what we need to change the way in which we are calculating the data. इस पूरे आर्टिकल का मतलब यही है और आपको यहाँ पे क्या जानना है कि who is releasing what. Okay. Moving further toward our next important article that is coming in from the text and the context section. So here we have already discussed this news quite since a long time. That the Aung San Suu Kyi, she has been jailed and she has been removed from the jail and now she is under the house arrest. So here there is a sign, a good sign that the Myanmar is moving toward a little bit of democracy, but still we cannot assure that till now the election has not been conducted, and only we should not be persuaded that the Janta has changed its stride and there is mass amnesties in attempt to cultivate the goodwill. So the Janta leader reportedly told the National Defense and Security Council that election couldn't be conducted due to continued fighting, and this is what which is not good for a democracy. Okay. सो यहाँ पे बस इतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, ज्यादा कुछ खास है नहीं। कावेरी वाटर डिस्प्यूट के ऊपर भी हमने बहुत बार डिस्कशन किया है। यहाँ पे आपका तमिलनाडु में अगस्त 14 में गवर्नमेंट ने कहा था कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इंटरवेंशन होना चाहिए टू मेक कर्नाटका immediately release 24,000 cubic feet per second from its reservoir in order to ensure proper water supply in this area, Biligundlu. And here on the interstate border, there should be supply of this much of water. But Karnataka has contended against this particular judgment because there has been lower rainfall और जिसके चलते जो कावेरी का catchment area है including in the Kerala, there is a poor inflow, so they cannot share the water. So this is in news. You should know where the Kaveri is located, what are the tributaries of Kaveri. Okay, these things you should know. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming in from the Odisha section, and here we have with amended act kicking in, Odisha has no deemed forest. तो हमें पता है recently forest act को amend किया गया है और यहाँ पे after that there has been a change in the name or the classification of deemed forest. तो यहाँ पे उड़ीसा के पास अब कोई भी there is a conflict and उड़ीसा के पास यहाँ पे अब कोई भी deemed forest नहीं है. Okay, so Odisha government has sent a letter to the district officials underlining that industry's request to direct forest land to the non-forest purpose now ought to conform with the amendments which has been there in the Forest Act, and that deemed forests are the category which will cease to exist. तो deemed forest क्या है? Deemed forest ऐसे forest होते हैं that has not been identified by the center or the state. ऐसे forest को deemed forest कहते हैं. 1996 का गोदावरम verdict आया था, उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि स्टेट टू ब्रिंग इन सच अनरिकॉर्डेड लैंड दैट conformed to the directory meaning of the dictionary meaning of the forest, और इसको deemed forest का status मिला था, but now the Odisha government is having no kicking in for this particular amendment and there is no deemed forest. It has been said by that. Moving further toward our next important article, here the Russia made stealth frigate delayed yet again. So here, as we know, there has been a war between Russia and Ukraine. So here the two Krivak or Talwar class stealth frigates which was under construction for the Indian Navy, it has been again delayed. So the ship is in the final stage of development in the last 2 months, in the 2 months time, and it will go for the sea trial and after that India will get that. So here there is a delay of this particular agreement which India and Russia has signed in the year of 2016, October 2016, and now it is being delayed. So just read this important article. Caught between Taliban curves and India no visa policy. This is also an important news which is important. So here there is a bomb firing and all these things are happening, and that's why there is a news that Indian government will seemingly unofficial no visa policy has led to division of the family and stopped students from completing degrees who are there in the Afghan areas. Now, this personality is also important. Bindeshwar Pathak, remember the name, he is a very famous personality. Recently he died. So Bindeshwar Pathak, Sulabh International founder, he was the founder of Sulabh International. He was a Padma Bhushan recipient and also a social worker. He died because of the cardiac arrest. And he is credited with bringing in the revolutionary Sulabh complex public toilet system in India. So here he basically contributed significantly to stop the open defecation and manual scavenging. So just remember his name, Bindeshwar Pathak, and here he died in last day and he is a very famous personality. Moving further toward our next important article, that is coming under the international relation, and here the Ukraine military resources is almost exhausted, as said by Russia. So these were few important articles which we discussed in today's newspaper. I hope you like this session. If you like this session, then definitely do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for attending this session.